We are back on Get Up, and we are headed to Pittsburgh, where, as you know, Aaron Rodgers signed a one-year deal earlier this month with the Steelers. Yesterday, the 41-year-old quarterback was back where he belongs, on the Pat McAfee Show, and he opened up about this season being his last.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. That's why we just did a one-year deal. Steelers didn't need to, put any extra years on that or anything. So, this was really about finishing with a lot of love and fun and peace for the career that I've had. I mean, I played 20 freaking years. It's been a long run. I've enjoyed it. And when this is done, I'm done. And you won't see me. And I'm looking forward to that. But while I'm in it, and for this year, I'm going to give the Steelers everything that I got and empty the tank and be super comfortable and satisfied with whatever happens.
So, why are you applauding that? I'm not criticizing. Why are you applauding?
I mean, as it should be. I think he deserves an opportunity to be celebrated, to tell everybody, hey, this is my last year. What happened in New York, that narrative, he can't go out that way. He just want to come out and be who he is and representative of who he is in an organization that he's always admired, and I think he deserves the opportunity to go out that way. He's one of the best to ever do it. He leaves us desiring more. When I think of Aaron Rodgers and I think about his career, I think about the miseducation of Lauryn Hill. It's like, man, is that it? I mean, after giving us so much great moments early in his career, you waited for the follow-up, and that second album just never hit. We never got it. And I think he's underappreciated. He played at a destination and a team and an organization where it was hard to get free agents to come in. When you think about all the other greats he's compared to, there were cities that was easy to get free agents, and they never loaded up for them.
You're talking about
Right. It's just tough to get free agents to come out there. I can't think of the biggest free agent to ever go to Green Bay to say, I want to play with Aaron Rodgers. So I think sometimes that gets caught up in the narrative of him. Because when you think about Peyton Manning and all the places he went, he was able to get Eric Decker. He was able to get Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders. He was always loaded.
Fair enough. So yes, I mean, Rodgers is an all-time great. That part of his legacy is secure. How much people will remember the way it ends, he has a chance to write that last chapter. I find this interesting, Kmart. He says he's going to play this final season with love, fun, and peace. Now, maybe I'm just inserting my own self into this, and that's a dangerous thing to do with anyone, and particularly with Aaron. But I would think the reason to play is to try and win it, right? I mean, I got one more shot to win this thing, and I guess the question is, if you're saying it's 1 year, the pressure is on to do it right now.
That's the interesting thing about this Rodgers situation, because I do feel like there's pressure on him because this is it, except I don't see this Pittsburgh Steelers team as a legit, they can win it all this year. So for Aaron, I think, we look at Aaron, the legacy on the field, but then there's also the other stuff. Hawk, like we talked about this on the meeting,
he talks about you won't hear from him again, but while he was playing, he was trying to host Jeopardy.
Right.
He had a Netflix doc. Right. He was going to be the vice president of the United States.
Right.
It doesn't point to someone that you're never going to hear from, but who knows?
But I feel like so much. I'm glad as a storyteller and as a reporter, I'm just glad for clarity. Because as the person who is dispatched to Pittsburgh and all these cities, you don't want to always have to say, Aaron, are you coming back again? I'm glad that, to Bart's point, he gets to at least have it
Let me bounce something off you. Do we see this as a Super Bowl team? No, most people don't. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you the Steelers are going to win the Super Bowl. Here's what I will say. If on June 25th last year I had said to you, do the Washington Commanders look like a Final Four team in the NFL next year? Not one person would have said yes. Crazy things happen in the NFL. Far crazier than Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers figuring out a way with a pretty good receiver and a pretty good defense to make a playoff run people don't expect.
Here's the thing about Aaron Rodgers, that what he talks about, and this is even different than what we have in our notes. When I hear him speak about his final year, yes, you want to win a Super Bowl. That's always the goal. But like he said, he played for 20 years.
Yeah.
And when you get to that point, even to the league, you start playing football at 9 years old. This is the longest relationship you have. It is scary to end that relationship on terms you're uncomfortable with.
Right.
It affects you for the rest of your life. So I understand him going into this season saying, hey, I want to have fun with the game that I fell in love with. I want to be at peace with it. I don't want to be pushing and, letting outside factors affect that. I want to go out on those terms. And to your point about Aaron Rodgers, the difference with him being in Pittsburgh is he has the ability, if they get in the playoffs, to string together 3 500-yard games and 5 touchdowns. I love Russ. He's done well for himself. He didn't have that ability. And that's the biggest difference with A-Rod.
And another thing Russ won't have is the opportunity to say, I'm done. Right? And we all wish we could have an opportunity to tell the game that we're done. Usually the game tells us that they're done with us. So this gives him the opportunity to go out on his own terms. He has no restraints. He has no expectations. Expectations are low. He don't have the expectations. And that's when you perform your best, when you're playing with a sense of freedom. He's loose. He has a sense of freedom. He's just playing for the joy of the game. And this takes you all the way back to why you started playing the game.
It came out, I've been asking the question, do you think Rodgers plays better now because he no longer has the weight of an entire franchise on him? The Jets basically brought him in and said, here, please do everything. Teach us how to be everything.
Build our culture, teach these young kids.
In this case, he just has to walk in and play quarterback.
Mike Tomlin will get you 4 wins just being Mike Tomlin,
Yeah.
4 to 5 wins. I think in Pittsburgh, there's another leader in the room. It just doesn't have to be. I think they have a culture there that's established by that one voice, which is Mike Tomlin. I do think there is pressure because it's Mike Tomlin and it's the Steelers in that division. But I think Rodgers can kind of just play free a little bit.
The Steelers go to the playoffs regardless. So
Especially
you add
given
Aaron
their
Rodgers.
quarterback situation.
All you have to
They
do, and you
still
never know, health in the playoffs. We just watched it in basketball. Somebody goes down, all of a sudden Aaron Rodgers gets hot. Listen, this is the best group of receivers that we've seen him with in a long time. He has an established receiver. We've seen what he's done with the guys, the Greg Jennings and the Jordy Nelsons. He's been a guy that has created and made people's careers that we've never heard of.
As long as that offensive line stays healthy and protects him better, the Steelers have a shot.
Can I make one other suggestion, please? And this is for Cindy Morello, our outstanding director.
Cindy.
For the remainder of our football conversations today, we have to put Bart and Hawk on opposite sides of the desk. Can we take that
Don't have
flu
a
shot
feeder out
again?
there.
Is anyone else as thrown by this as
You don't
I
remember
am?
the Magic Eye books? We're hypnotizing the NFL fans across the world, man. Come on.
We might be smoking stack.
I
You know what I'm
like
saying?
that. You know what I'm saying?
Kmart, I don't know. You're the fashionista here. I mean, does this clash?
They look so good.
They look good. I'm not suggesting they
That's the
don't
only
look good, but I think we need them on opposite sides.
Bounced out. The
It's
table's
like
a little lopsided.
It's
with
a
us over
test
here.
pattern working over on this side with the jackets this morning.
Silk and linen ain't never been this fly.
He saw me in plaid and still wore that jacket, man.
Sally.
I blame him.
I said yesterday on the McAfee show that this is going to be a one-and-done scenario. This is probably it, he said.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. That's why we just did a 1-year deal. Steelers didn't need to, put any extra years on that or anything. So, this was really about finishing with a lot of love and fun and peace for the career that I've had. I mean, I played 20 freaking years. It's been a long run. I've enjoyed it. And when this is done, I'm done. And you won't see me. And I'm looking forward to that. But while I'm in it, and for this year, I'm going to give the Steelers everything that I got and empty the tank and be super comfortable and satisfied with whatever happens.
So this is fascinating, and I think it speaks to a dynamic that most of us cannot fully understand, but you guys can. He's talking about finishing with love and fun and peace. My feeling is, if you're his age and you have the unlimited options in life, like he can order off a menu of what he wants to do with his life at this point because he's so famous and he's so rich, that I would come back only because my inclination is to think I would just come back if I thought I could win. He's talking about love and fun and peace, and you understand that.
Yeah, you want to go out on your own terms. Like in football and in life, you're once a man, twice a baby, right? So you come in and you're trying to figure things out when you're young, and then at the end, your body doesn't respond the way it used to. But now this gives me an opportunity to say, hey, I love you, game. Let's it's over. Because when you finish in football, ain't no big three out there for us. So the game that we love, we're done with it. And it is a tough transition. So I wish I would have had the opportunity to walk away on my own terms. Only the very few great players, even Peyton Manning didn't walk away on his terms. He wanted to keep playing, and Denver was like, no, thank you. So for the fact that I get to say, hey, this is my last game, I get to play with joy and with no pressure because I'm comfortable with what I've done in this game.
And that also tells me where he's at. There was none of that over the last couple of seasons. Love, fun, and peace.
Right.
You get to those moments. You've been there. In 2015, I ended the season on IR. I had back-to-back concussions, and I was about to retire. The only reason I came back for the next season, knowing our team wasn't going to be great, was that I wanted to end, to Bart's point, on terms my own with the game of football so that I could rest the rest of my life. And it feels like Aaron Rodgers is in that space.
Yeah, think about those 2 seasons with the Jets. Think about even this offseason. How many teams were vying for his services? Right? He had the last couple of years, it hasn't been a robust market for Aaron Rodgers. So, and then think about the 2 seasons with the Jets, the Achilles, and then last year, I'm not even sure what that was. he could not go out like that. And I think with the Steelers, not only does he have the leader of that franchise is the head coach, but the respectability of that historic franchise.
And you get to go out how you came in, which is just playing football. You don't got to be the head coach.
Right.
You don't have to be the GM. You don't have to be the mentor. You just come in and play quarterback, and that will be enough for the Pittsburgh
Watch how much
Steelers.
fun he is and how vulnerable he is with his teammates just because he knows it's the last.
I'm getting talked into it, man. I'm getting talked into the Steelers to the Super Bowl.
I don't know about Super Bowl, but they're going to be way better than people are talking about. I want to play you Orlovsky yesterday on NFL Live. Orlovsky was talking kind of the way I'm talking. You'll hear it in the very first words out of his mouth. Let's hear from Dan.
I don't believe Aaron Rodgers plays this year unless he truly felt that that team could be a legitimate Super Bowl contender. I agree that I don't see them as that. Can they get to that? One, the offensive line would have to play much better. Two, we know they had DK Metcalf. Pat Freiermuth's a very young and emerging tight end. Somebody else is going to have to step forward as a pass-catching threat. They're going to have to run the football really well, and then their defense is going to have to play better. And then also, can he stay healthy? Those are a lot of question marks that if they're all yeses, it's a dream season for both him and the Steelers.
So here's what I will say to everyone saying, oh, the Steelers aren't a championship team. They're probably not. But the NFL is the place where crazy things happen every single year. I'll say it again. A year ago on June 25th, if I'd said to you, hey, Bart, do you see the Washington Commanders as an NFC championship team? You would have said, of course not. Much stranger things have happened.
And going into Detroit and beating Detroit in Detroit. I would have laughed at you. Listen, this is very reminiscent to me, like I said a couple of times on the show, of when Steve McNair came to us and people thought that he was done. And maybe he was done, but we didn't need him to be MVP Steve McNair. We just needed him to show flashes of who he used to be. And we ended up winning 13 games, having the best record in the AFC because they finally were supported. They have a professional quarterback that can get them in the right play and do high percentage plays when it calls for it, that can match football acumen with Lamar Jackson, whatever defensive coordinator is on the opposing sideline. That's all they need. They didn't be great for 1 or 2 runs.
I think he gets 2 wins out of his supporting cast more than they had last year, and I think he's responsible for the other 3. And then that puts them in the Super Bowl because with him, operationally, with Justin Fields, like when you come into the huddle and he's young and he's trying to figure things out, other guys are having trouble doing their job because he's trying to figure it out. You get a veteran quarterback when Russell Wilson comes in, you eliminate that. So now you have Aaron Rodgers, who gives you the operational, gives the rest of the team hope that this is a guy that can make the play, and his ability. Now you have an opportunity when you get in the playoffs.
He's not going to turn over the ball. He's not going to turn over the ball.
How good is their defense going to be is an important part of this here. They got to get T.J. Watt signed, right? They got it worked. And he sounded like.
And when you heard Rodgers talking to McAfee, he said, and once we get T.J. signed, it's so you know it's coming. Right. And with this organization, you know how integral T.J. Watt is to that defense. So you expect it to get done. I'm with you on, I think the Steelers will be good. I think they'll make the playoffs. But how in an hour and a half we have now put them in the Super Bowl?
No, that's all it took.
I'm not.
That's all it took.
That's all.
An hour and a half.
What I'm saying is, I believe Aaron Rodgers believes that, and every player goes in there thinking that they can win.
Say it with the vest.
Aaron Rodgers believes that he has enough to get to the Super Bowl.
Bring that shirt over there fighting, boy. My boy did chest day.
The back of it ripped because I've been doing it. I've been doing the delts. Me and Greeny, we've been working on the upper backs. You know.
I have been.
Yeah, I know. I can see it.
I'm very proud of it. Say it with your vest. Okay. Still a.
How's it going, everybody? Villa Sports Network here. Just want to thank you guys for your support on the channel. Thank you guys for watching the video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Also want to kind of remind you to don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment on the video if you like as well. But regardless of the fact, thank you again for your support, and hope to see you on the next video.